Hi everyone. Out of concern for Jehovah's Witnesses and ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, we need to understand the why and the how for the high rate of mental illness in Jehovah's Witnesses org. And we need to dialogue about it. This is a step towards understanding and reacting appropriately and taking steps to help in this situation. We need to get to the bottom of the reasons so we can make adjustments. Are Jehovah's Witnesses ill-prepared for life? Is that why some of them are not able to cope? What are the psychological, emotional reasons? What are the habits or thought processes that reinforce that outcome? I broke down my notes in the reading of Jerry Bergman's book, Jehovah's Witnesses and the Problem of Mental Illness, into 3 categories when I was trying to figure out how to present this. Mind, emotion, and habit. So first, how our mind is conditioned to a certain viewpoint. So I wanted to read 3 sections from his book, from the research in his book. First quote says, the Watchtower are prone, or the witnesses are prone to stereotype complex behavior. For example, they often believe that other people are mostly bad and witnesses are largely good. The clergy of Christendom are often pictured as interested in their own selfish pursuits, often primarily to make money, but the witnesses only want to help others. Witnesses tend to relegate the entire history of mankind into a few basic, gross overgeneralizations. The Watchtower openly discourages social intercourse with outsiders in order to be without spot from the world. Because witnesses are to have nothing to do with holidays and other celebrations, they are often cut off from their own extended family, and sometimes their immediate family as well. Admonished not to be overly friendly with outsiders, they avoid all intimate social interactions with non-witnesses. They even, I always say eschew, but David says it's eschew. I don't know. Eschew reading anything else other than the Watchtower publications, and then only the recent society literature is encouraged. The list of prohibitions that seem to go on to infinitum also alienate witnesses from the mainstream of society. Of course, some of these activities can be minimized with benefit, but the witnesses extend the list to most all activities and put them in non-employment contact with outsiders. I thought that last part was very important, that put them in non-employment contact with others. You have so little contact with people. That's almost the only one you have for a lot of witnesses, your workplace. Okay, then I've got a quote on page 72. It says, by discouraging social contact with persons outside of the Watchtower organization and encouraging association with other witnesses, the witness interpretation of reality is constantly reinforced. They are exposed primarily to one view only, the Watchtower position. All dissonant information is rejected as part of Satan's world, and thus of no value, or worse. Faith is often synonymous with rigidity. One who holds firmly to Watchtower opinions and ideas and is not easily swayed by reason or facts is judged to have faith. And then the last quote I have was Witnesses tend to be insensitive to or actually calloused toward other human beings. The attitude was reflected in the belief that most of mankind will be mercilessly destroyed in the imminent Armageddon. This insensitivity and their harsh demands also extend to themselves and all other witnesses. And then the therapist who was interviewing this person said, I do not pray for forgiveness of my sins, because if I intentionally sinned, forgiveness would be impossible. Okay, then he has the witnesses, talking about witnesses, nor did they concern themselves with Christian works of love as expressed in social reform activity. They believe that it is meaningless to try to change or even help with conditions in the old world, because it is wholly under the rulership and control of Satan. Then the interviewer, the therapist, says 75 of those that this therapist examined claimed that, aside from the witness work, they had no other interest in life, and 50 of the 126 will associate only with fellow believers. So, one viewpoint gotten from the org, and then that's reinforced by their behaviors. They have this idea, they don't listen to anyone else, and it's reinforced because they're only associating with each other. These are all, I think, helpful in understanding how the problem came to be and what protection there is in communication with other people. So next time we'll look at some more from Bergman. I'm going to link to a video called God So Loved the World, Should Ex-Witnesses Be Afraid of the Big Bad World? It's actually the third part of a sermon that I read on camera, a sermon by a minister that we had, Victor Shepherd. And the sermon was about conversion, but one aspect was about the big bad world. The second video that I'm linking to is called RJW's Right About Two Organizations, Jehovah's and Satan's. Paul in the Old Testament see nations and individuals, and that was based on some readings that I was doing in John Wenham's book, The Goodness of God. To the next time.